lot of other picks available. GT is only going to be able to get 2 of them on their side. And actually, it's going to be switched over. The Jhin going to be locked in. And I think we may look at Savoki's Bard to be picked up.
I was going to say,
early.
you already brought this up, the fact that Bard was banned in the first game, which meant that the Jhin was so much safer.
Yeah.
I think if this almost forces PYL that if Bard isn't picked up in this rotation to grab it.
Also a fantastic lane as well in the Jhin and Bard. They decide to go into a standard lane situation. Of course, last time around it was a lane swap, instigated by LGD, who actually lost out. So they might be looking for standard lanes here this time around, just use their superior power. We saw Punished was able to get the better of Republic, or at least stay even with Republic in the laning phase, so that's no worries. And MaRin and Imp, definitely fantastic players. But that is going to be Trundle and the Rek'Sai locked away here for Game Talent. So the flex Trundle pick towards the top side of the map, potentially. And of course, that Rek'Sai now going into the hands of wushuang, and that is a power pick for him.
It does perform very well on that Rek'Sai. That's why I was curious that LGD trying to deny PentaQ versus wushuang. We talked about this before, that there's kind of 2 really core members in both of these teams, MaRin and Imp on the side of LGD, wushuang and GimGoon on the side of GT.
Yeah. Already with potential power picks in their hands as well, unless that Trundle's going to once again go into the hands of Savoki, who had brilliant pillars. I mean, I've been singing the praises of Savoki for quite some time. But man, that guy, when he gets on his signature picks, can definitely make things work. Signature picks being, of course, Trundle and Blitzcrank.
Tom Kench.
And Tom Kench.
Savoki was always a highlight of the previous Masters 3 bottom lane. I'm glad to see him continue to be a character in the LPL.
I think character is exactly how you describe good old Savoki, as once again, PYL going to jump on the Braum, and that is going to be Graves picked up for Eimy. So not giving too much away at LGD, waiting for their solo laners as their last round of picks.
But it leaves the Bard Upper as the other kind of big primary range support if they want to look for a 2v2 against the Jhin Braum lane. So there's kind of 2 sides to this. Obviously picking Braum, you make sure that they can't take Braum, which means that Jin's ultimate won't just be up against the door.
Yep.
Helps with the anti-siege, something that LGD like to do. Conserve and try to play with their creep waves, or at least what they historically had been known to do. On the other side, though, it makes that their 2v2 significantly weaker should they look for the range support like the Bard, as well as Bard being the counter pick into Jhin, because Jhin has to stand still to use his ultimate, which means that Bard just gets to dunk on him with Tempered Fate.
Well, it doesn't look like it's happening here, as it looks like Trundle is going to be heading into the support position. Maokai is now picked up as Republic locks that away for GimGoon. So changing up the style here a lot after that Fizz was banned away.
Can still use the displacement from Trundle.
Most certainly can.
Long range displacement.
And Savoki did show some fantastic Trundle skills. Now MaRin may need to look towards something a little bit more carry oriented. I mean, I'm looking at the Rumble right now. I'm feeling it, because if Rumble can do anything, it's burn down trees. What's going to be in the top lane? A tree. And Imp currently hovering that exact champion. Come on, MaRin. You look so beautiful on that mechanical yordle.
You could have just stopped right there.
Oh, well, that's
you didn't need the back part of it.
Yeah. Oh, actually thinking about Fiora here as well. So really making sure that they deny any subjugate targets. I like it.
And that's the other cool thing about Game Talent's comp, the fact that you're using Trundle as a flex pick, that Savoki is a big player of the Trundle support, makes Maokai that much more secure of a pick.
Most certainly is. However, is going to be finding it a little bit difficult against that grand challenge coming out of the Fiora towards the top side of the map, ignoring a lot of those defensive statistics that the tree is going to be building up. Republic now thinking about going for a counter pick into the Twisted Fate with that Kassadin.
They do not have any wave clear.
That is so dangerous.
Other than the culling on their comp if they pick up Kassadin here. And Jhin, Fiora, and Graves, and Twisted Fate will shred through their towers if they ever fall behind.
Yeah, GT. Well, they're going to throw the gauntlet. So this is going to be the Kassadin locked in. Game Talents will have to play out this early game extraordinarily well if they want to stay in with a shot. Because like you said, wave clear is the name of the game a lot of the time. And that is a difficult comp to gain wave control with.
I just feel like they don't have a lot of options if MaRin gets big on this Fiora to stop her. At some point, she's just going to ignore Maokai if she doesn't fall behind and just take the towers anyway. And without Maokai, their composition is so reliant on Maokai being their primary flank. Like, they don't have a lot of other tools or hard CC to say, okay, we see you in the 1-4 LGD. Now we want to engage on your 4 with our numbers advantage with a Maokai flank.
But
there goes their base.
Yeah, it's going to be extraordinarily hard because the 1-3-1 potential out of this LGD comp is so terrifying. But Game Talents, they managed to wait it out last time and win the game, and they lost almost all of their structures whilst doing it.
But I feel like that was because LGD gave them the opportunity to get to late game team fights rather than playing out the macro and wave control effectively.
Well, we'll see whether they can do it this time around. Coaches, shake hands. Let's get into game number 2 between GT and LGD. Thank you very much, MaRin, and here we are for game number 2 between LGD and Game Talents. LGD moving out. We'll see whether they go for any sort of lane swap this time around or whether it is going to be standard lanes. By the looks of things at the moment, things looking relatively standard.
LGD's composition doesn't get as much out of an open map as their previous one did. Of course, they still have the Twisted Fate. But I don't think that the lane swap is necessarily as important as it was for the first one. Still good.
Ooh, GimGoon pokes his head out, gets a ward down.
But I would prioritize getting MaRin into a standard lane and making sure that you're starting to allocate farm onto this Fiora very early.
Well, that was very cute. As you can see, LGD able to take down a ward, but vision all across the river. Door delivered to the Trundle.
Did manage to get one ward, so Savoki, extra 10 gold in his pockets. We see the Keystone Masteries popping up on the bottom of your screen. And Imp has now done this twice. Yeah. As GimGoon and wushuang are actually looking for a 2v2.
Yeah, so they're battling here as Republic's going to make his way up as well. Eimy in a lot of trouble, gets the big flash over the wall. That's a difficult one. And that is going to be summon a spell down for the Graves.
So Game Talents see LGD's cheeky 3-man invade with Braum Twisted Fate that they did in Game 1. Answer it with their own 3-man collapse top lane and get a free summoner, but it is only on the jungler, so we'll see if that can somehow be punished. But back to Imp's Keystone Mastery. So now the second time that he's taken Thunderlords on Jhin as opposed to Deathfire Touch.
Yeah, which is sort of more of a focus on the early game trading ability of the champion. Is that what we're thinking?
I haven't put too much thought into it because I haven't seen it a lot. But, I mean, Rusty commented on it the first time, you know, wondering if it was maybe a mistake, a misclick, because obviously his mastery changed. But just noting it, and we'll keep an eye on how he utilizes this.
Yeah. Eimy actually looking to try and steal away a red buff here as wushuang going down very, very low in his jungle. Will have Smite available for that red when he gets to it, but you can see MaRin actually taking a lot of damage from GimGoon towards the top side of the map.
Eimy is setting a trap for wushuang.
Actually has already just taken away the red buff and denied the Cinderlings.
Comes over the top and he's immediately getting in a back, so he'll have an early buy advantage. Ultimately, this won't gain him too much ground in terms of the jungle clear for creeps versus creeps.
Yep.
But will give him a bit more power should he look to contest wushuang, either over the Rift Scuttler or even a possible invade later on.
You can see now Eimy moving back into his jungle. We'll see whether he heads down towards the bottom side, takes his red buff first. Looks like it is going to be the blue take-in. wushuang going to have an opportunity.
He went back and got a pink ward, so offering safety to MaRin. This could mean that LGD are showing their hand that they're going to go all in on trying to create space for MaRin and make sure that he doesn't get camped, as is the typical tactic against LGD.
Exactly. Oh, there's a nice pillar, though, as POL puts up the Unbreakable. PentaQ in trouble as Imp just throws out a deadly flourish. It doesn't look all that deadly. Throws a 4th bullet into Savoki's face. I've missed this, being able to watch LGD in a 2v2.
Just standard lanes.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, again, very important. They get a lot of power.
Sad.
They get a lot of power off of the Fiora, so making sure that MaRin gets the standard 1v1 against Maokai. We can already start to see that CS discrepancy building between the two of them.
Yeah.
So wushuang will need to pay attention to that. Unless he just wants GimGoon to... Because Maokai is not going to win this lane. He's just going to survive it.
Yeah, he's just going to potato the lane. You know, just chill out.
There's the twisted advance, though, and wushuang is not in position.
Really nice riposte, though, out of MaRin, but won't have it available for the knock-up. However, creates enough distance with the lunge, and we'll be absolutely fine.
I mean, all that's really going to do is buy CS and invisible pressure for GimGoon, but it also gives Eimy information about where wushuang is. Amy's not necessarily the type of jungler that will punish that. Again, much more of a farm and counter gank-oriented jungler rather than a proactive information collector that someone like Dandy would be.
You can see Republic actually doing fantastically well in this lane for now. On this Kassadin, shoved it all the way into punish. He lost a couple of creeps underneath the turret, but you can see right now doing very, very well. Nice dodge with the arcane smash. As PentaQ avoids a deadly flourish. Imp now right up in the faces of GT. They do have a huge creep wave behind them, helping them out in this battle.
Eimy doing a good job making sure that he's on his bot side of the map, shadowing and covering Imp and PYL. He'll actually walk into wushuang, but does manage to steal the wolf camp. But being there so that if this Rek'Sai looks to gank his bottom lane, that he would protect them. Yeah,
well, speaking of protecting the bottom lane, Eimy actually walking right back into GT right now. Gets exhausted. Deadly Flourish comes down. Nice heal comes out from Imp, but exhaust now onto wushuang. Savoki in trouble as there's the teleport in. Exactly right. Imp still wanting to get some work done. Does take down Savoki as PentaQ dancing around this fight, but GT go completely ballistic and kill 3 members of LGD and just head straight into this Ocean Drake.
And it's going to be primary benefactor of PentaQ on the Lucian, now 2-0-1, as well as the Ocean Drake on top of that. So yes, it was a good job of Eimy to be on the bottom side of the map to protect the overextended Imp and PYL, but not to put himself in a precarious situation where Imp and PYL actually failed to collapse on him earlier, and then a nice response of GimGoon to get the TP. And MaRin was in base, so it wasn't like Fiora got any sort of big advantage from Maokai being out of lane.
Yeah, he's still only 7 CS in the lead, and GimGoon's going to be coming back with 2 assists to his name. So we're looking at Punish to really make things happen here with this Destiny that he's just picked up after hitting level 6. Of course, was a non-factor in that last fight because he was only level 5.
Yeah, it's Destiny in tandem with the TP that MaRin still has. So yes, LGD lost massively on that last exchange, but they do have a window where the 2 TPs are down now that we saw Republic use his back to the mid lane, where they could make a play, and it looks like it's going to be on that top side.
Yeah, well, you can see Punish already making his way up.
Diving Maokai, still...
Dangerous times.
Still bad.
Nothing's changed. Pink Wall going to fall down as MaRin, once again, going a little bit aggressive onto GimGoon. Gets a few autos down. He took the Warlord's Bloodlust as well, so opting against the Fiora battle, which is still good.
I mean, he's got Cole, Doran's Blade, and Longsword. He's shown his hand that this is the farm lane for now.
Yes. Agriculturally inclined for now. It's Red Card going to fly down, punished. Still clearing out these creep waves quite nicely, but Republic as well doing exactly the same thing, and he's getting a bit of a free way towards his safety mark, which is right now. That level 6 has been hit.
And a lot of respect coming out of Punish itemization, having that MR immediately.
Well, understands that this lane is dangerous once Republic hits level 6. So I do like it. Need to respect the Kassadin.
And Republic has really gone under the radar. Kind of sitting... Hold on, though. See how the mid laners respond to this as Destiny is available. Not sitting as a top-tier mid laner in the LPL, but has shown significant improvement over his previous split.
Yeah, precisely.
Especially on this Kassadin pick. More so known as mostly a control mage player. Big Corki player when Corki was in the meta. But went off on the Kassadin when game talents were on their tear very early on into the LPL. See if they can kind of continue that upward swing by taking the 2-0 over LGD, or if LGD will be able to bite back here.
Well, at the moment, things going well for GT. 3 kills to 1. Ocean Drake in their back pocket as well. So keeping their jungler very healthy as wushuang makes his way around the map. However, hasn't been able to lock himself down as much farm as Eimy, who has been rocketing around this rift, killing everything that he can. Warrior Enchantment almost done, as you can see. Possible gank towards the top side incoming. wushuang decides, wants to take a Krog camp first. Let's see whether he moves back, as MaRin doesn't have a lot of health to his name.
Also not too much kill pressure if it's Graves, Fiora versus Maokai, Rek'Sai.
Yeah. On either side, really.
But has the added bonus of having the 3 assists in his back pocket, so even though he's not on par with Eimy's farm, not in a bad position at all, looking to complete his Cinder Hulk.
Yeah, actually managed to get that Balmy Cinder as the culling is going to fly out. Nice pillar, actually. Blocks POL from being able to save that cannon creep from the cull. This Captive Audience going to come in, but not going to get any extra damage. Deadly Flourish comes down. Not going to find too much more as GT were looking for a gank on the Twisted Fate. Is now moving towards the bottom side. Yeah, exactly right. They want this gank as Destiny is going to fly down. There it is. Gold card comes in, and the ultimate from Imp. Really nice pillar is going to stop Imp from picking up that kill, but Punished is going to be able to lock that one down. Now Savoki moving up towards his mid laner who's making his way in. Actually, no. He's all the way back in base, so they do make it to safety. 1 kill goes down, though, as PentaQ falls.
Well timed by LGD, right as Republic's backing doesn't have the TP. We talked about how LGD had a window of opportunity where they could try to play the map, pick something else up. It's not as great as GT's lead, as they now find a pick.
Yeah, Eimy just going to get destroyed. wushuang, easy able to lock that one down with the E.
Something very funny that game talents do is they constantly play around that bush quite effectively.
Yeah.
That little banana brush. They did it against Team WE, and they're doing it multiple times against LGD. So just continue to watch how they sit there.
wushuang as well denying this red buff camp at the same time. Will be able to pick himself up some Raptors if Punished isn't going to make it here in time. And there it is. Punished has a gold card, but it's not going to be enough. And Game Talents, for now, actually doing fantastically well, keeping themselves in this game. We mentioned the lack of wave clear on this team. If they were to fall behind, would make things very, very difficult. However, now, feeling okay, especially with wushuang being quite strong on this Rek'Sai right now.
Big thing is Republic completing his Roa very early. That's about a 10-minute.
That was almost sub 10 minute, I think.
Yeah, Rod of Ages. Again, it helps that Game Talents had that very early collapse. Lucian got most of the kills, but, you know, Kassadin, he was there. I'm helping, moral support.
And he's 16 CS ahead as well of Punished. Punished just being a wave clear bot at the moment, but not clearing the waves nearly as effectively as this Kassadin. And Republic just looks so comfortable. As a guy that, you know, we associate with just playing Victor and things like that, Corki, of course, was his basically only mid laner that he played throughout the last split. Now looking very good as Imp and PYL clearing things out underneath this turret. And Imp does have a bit of a lead, even if he is a kill behind. Gold card going to come in, but nice Force Pulse. Evens out the trade here for Republic, who does have the Q, meaning that trade's quite difficult for Twisted Fate to win. Savoki throws down some Frozen Domain.
Yeah,
for no reason.
Unfortunately for Punished, because he went for the MR as well as the CDR, he just doesn't have enough AP to actually out-damage. No, just even out-damage on the trades Kassadin. When he comes back in, he can't break the shield.
Now he has a Sheen, an Amp Tome there as well, so we'll be feeling a little bit better in that department. But
yeah,
you're right, it's dangerous.
Much better.
And here goes Savoki, actually looking to close in on Imp. Does lower his attack damage as GimGoon's teleported in. It's a nice ultimate from PYL to try and save them. There's 4 members down here. Teleport's going to get MaRin in. Republic already taking down 1 kill as Imp right underneath this turret gets knocked out of his ult again by Savoki. This guy's Trundle is so good for Oscarin, and they get the 1 pick.
And we talked about this and Champions, like what Trundle would offer. Yes, it's not the Bard, so it's not that immediate Tempered Fate to counter it, but having that obvious displacement, the longest range displacement in the game, to continuously move Jhin off of the channel. Savoki now abusing it twice, is now Punished just caught out.
Yeah. He's going to land the Q. Republic actually in trouble as MaRin not as tanky as he wants to be right now. Wildcards flying through. Eimy able to pick up 1 kill. wushuang, the hero, is going to be able to lock down Imp as Eimy off to the side. Does have to be careful. Not a lot of mana as GimGoon closing the gap slowly. Flash has to be used. GimGoon does not have his, but they're getting him out of the way. However, LGD did stop the dragon.
Imp going hero mode and using his face to really stop the dragon.
A little bit too hero, one could say.
Well, the thing is Punished and PYL actually could have picked up a return kill on wushuang, but they didn't step forward. wushuang had to exit out of the bottom of the tri-brush and then use his tunnel through the wall to get to safety, but he's sitting on, you know, like less than 25% HP.
Yeah.
And Twisted Fate and Braum just too scared to step forward. It just looks kind of like a miscommunication from LG. You know, him saying, I'm going forward, literally running in face first into the brush, doing massive amounts of damage and taking members down with him. But as he's stepping forward, PYL and Punish stepping back.
Yeah, and it's just not exactly what they wanted. MaRin does have his Tiamat done. Boots of Swiftness there as well, so we'll be very, very quick, especially if he manages to land those weak spots. And the Phage already done, so yeah, as far as speed is concerned, he could be winning a whole lot of the races on this map. And he's quite far ahead as far as farm is concerned. However, GimGoon, 103. Man has a lot of assists. And a kill to his name. Sunfire Cape already done. It's getting tanky.
And it helps him against 3 members of LGD's comp. Again, Fiora, Graves, and Jhin all doing considerable amounts of physical damage. So has his Sunfire built up. Didn't even need to look towards the MR.
Frozen Heart is such a good item against this team right now,
Yes.
too. There are 4 auto-attack champions on this team, if you include Twisted Fate.
But LGD just need to hang on and look for that light at the end of the tunnel when Fiora will be able to just kind of run past GimGoon, hopefully. Or if GimGoon's able to slow down Fiora enough because he just has to go into armor, if Punish can then step up and be the guy that LGD need to start backdooring some towers. But for now, game talent's full control.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to take down this Infernal Drake as well. You can see Eimy waiting around. PYL's going to spot this one out for the moment. But it's going down quite low. GT quite strong. It actually resets for a moment. As LGD with a man advantage are going to head over here. MaRin doesn't have teleport. Republic does have his available if they want to find it, as there is the Infernal Drake falling, and GT now looking for a fight. Pillar comes in. Eimy not going to get in range of the smite, so that's how they managed to secure it.
Yeah, both these teams even on gold, but again, LGD deciding not to push their luck.
And if we're having a look at sort of lanes that are dangerous for both teams, this middle lane is dangerous for LGD. Punish not exactly going to be able to go toe-to-toe with this Kassadin, who's having that Rod of Ages stack. Already with 6 of them available. Will be completely done in 4 minutes' time. And looks like he might be building towards either an Abyssal Scepter or something like the Zhonya's Hourglass. As now you can see MaRin in a whole host of trouble. Grand Challenge comes down. He's actually breaking the weak points quite nicely as the riposte comes in. Actually gets it. The heals come in. Whoa, that was close. Republic's able to lock down the kill in the end.
And LGD didn't even try to go for their mid lane. So Republic roams up on the Kassadin, and Twisted Fate and Graves were sitting in the mid lane. And instead of just even getting chip damage, which you could get a serviceable amount with the blue card as well as the Sheen, don't pull the trigger on it, which I find very curious.
Yeah, and it's actually Punish going back to base and vision being cleared around the Dragon Pit, which is not going to be a point of focus for the next 5 minutes. Teleport going to come in from MaRin, gets him back into his lane. Almost has his Black Cleaver completed. I actually quite like this as far as an adaptation of build path is concerned. Wants to be able to shred the armor as soon as possible. Get that extra CDR as well.
I just find it so strange. I'm still just sitting here scratching my head, you know, Twisted Fate, Graves, why didn't you go for it? As Savoki might be caught out. Yeah,
well, there's another pillar. Destiny comes down. Savoki in the bouncing castle as he uses the subjugate onto PYL. Culling comes down. Punish going to eat that immediately as the curtain call comes in. But you can see GT, everyone collapsing underneath this turret. There are low health bars. Gold card comes in as Punished in trouble. He's going to get knocked up. Savoki in trouble. He's going to die to Imp. But you can see off the back end, PentaQ able to take down PYL. Now dancing around after Eimy. And Eimy is going to be able to finish that one off. It's a bloodbath down here, but GT come out ahead 3-2.
And in the end, it is traded for the top tower.
Good point.
MaRin might even continue to push through right here, as well as GimGoon left alone. It's just going to force this wave in, get some damage on the tower. We'll see if he actually is able to trade it back.
Yeah, he's going to stump it to death.
I think they're trying to set up a trap for Eimy here. He's got the pink ward on top of him. Is now approaching, and here comes Republic.
Yeah, he's going to walk underneath this turret. There's the Twisted Advance. Nice teleport to come in here as GimGoon did pick up the turret aggro, but Eimy very low underneath this turret. wushuang going to get caught out as Punished, trying to finish him off, but he's just not able to. They still want the kill on Twisted Fate. That's a double kill for the Kassadin, and wushuang didn't even die. What is this?
Great tower aggro juggle there from Game Talents. And again, setting up that trap, being very patient, knowing that LGD will be greedy and step forward and picking up 2 kills.
was beautifully executed underneath that turret, which is a little bit more difficult to do now because it doesn't slow down.
Yeah, doesn't drop the damage that it's going to do when it changes targets, ramps up, and keeps that ramp.
Mm-hmm. However, LGD now back in this lane. That turret did still survive, as Imp is now going to try and get some damage down onto this outer turret. Gets his movement speed from his fourth proc. Boots Swiftness completed. Ghost Blade already done as well, as PentaQ very close to his Black Cleaver.
But still, even with a 5 to 12 difference in kills, LGD are still just barely behind. 1,000 gold.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with this 40 CS lead towards the top side of the map. Turret falls on both sides of the map as Republic now looking for a gap close onto Imp. Does still have his Q available, is now towards the top side. PentaQ caught out completely. They trade it for kills all across this map, though, as wushuang looking to knock up Imp. Doesn't have the flash available as he's going to try and slow him down. GimGoon closing distance. There's the flash from Imp. That is very important.
Good patience on Empower to hold his summoner long enough and walk away with his life. Republic, though.
Oh, still wanting this one as Imp not going to get force pulsed, which could have spelt his death, honestly.
But chasing deep, game talents actually don't take the objective off of that, so the bot outer's still standing for LGD.
Yeah. That's where GT would have wanted to continue getting this gold lead. 1,000 gold is in their favor for now, as wushuang just going to tunnel his way away from MaRin.
It's only 1,000 gold, and they're sitting a tower behind, however.
Yeah. Eimy moving towards the top side. And look, MaRin has the lead that he needs. He's got a Black Cleaver now as well. The man's very close to his Ravenous Hydra. As far as LGD's win condition is concerned, MaRin's still there, able to provide that split push.
But the problem is that the rest of LGD are failing MaRin underneath the map. They need to survive long enough to buy up game talent's time, so they can't just keep trading objective, or even worse, massive team fights for objectives. So, yes, MaRin's ahead, but eyes really need to be on the rest of LGD, so he means something with this lead.
And look, there's the fact that GimGoon is 2-0-8. And against 1-0-2, I mean, that CS discrepancy doesn't mean nearly as much, considering how much money he's had from this kill participation.
Frankly, not a lot of teams on either side have had much respect for the teleport cooldowns.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been very clear big windows where teams have the ability to make plays on the bottom side of the map with either Destiny or double TP, and have been executed both ways successfully.
Well, red buff unfortunately going to reset on him.
That's always the worst.
Yeah, he's really upset about it. Now going to releash, and Imp gets another go at it.
Dragon will be spawning in 3 seconds. As you can see, game talents on your map collapsing around that. They only have 1 pink ward, though.
Yeah, Imp actually forced to go back to base, though, after taking that red buff, and game talents want their second Infernal Drake of the game.
Yeah, they're just going to quickly burn this. LGD not going to be able to contest it at all, so it's going to be a 2-objective swing for game talents, as now this gold lead is starting to open up to about 2K, closing in on 3K.
Oh, God, that is another one. So Infernal Drake number 3 coming up as game talents looking to try and get the perfect trinity of dragons after the cheeky Ocean Drake at the beginning.
Now
we're going to ignore.
16%.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
If we're calling these set of dragons like the hot springs or something like that, like that's a really, really, really hot spring.
It's a nice hot spring.
Damn right it is.
Well, the concerning thing is if LGD go again late game as they did, there's now the insurance policy of a double Infernal, possibly triple Infernal on damage amplification.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they've got a Kassadin who just loves getting these flat stats, and now GT getting collapsed on. MaRin throws down the challenge. There's the curtain call as well as Imp trying to get some damage down. You can see he's able to land all of these bolts, but MaRin going to get obliterated. PentaQ across to the side as well, going so huge in this fight. Double knockup from wushuang, and they just get taken away. LGD evaporate in the hands of GT.
Game talents just rip through them, take the outer mid, and then now have turned onto the Baron. Super healthy. It's really only Imp, so we'll see what he can do to try to stop this.
Yeah, it doesn't have his ultimate available, so none of that long range. And you can see they only need 3 people to start this one up. wushuang off to the side as PentaQ lots of damage now with those 2-item spikes.
More importantly, Imp doesn't have the proper vision set up to approach this Baron safely, so it's going to be, again, another massive swing of power for game talents.
And what a gigantic play out of this mid laner as well from GT. 7-0-9. Let's have a look at this.
Okay, so big issue is the fact that Imp is only putting in his ultimate for the course of this team fight, so that's the first issue. Second is that no one is stopping Kassadin. There's nothing you can do. He's snowballed too far ahead. It's pretty much just, have you seen the rabbit in Monty Python?
Yeah.
Just lunging from victim to victim, ripping out their throats.
Oh my god, I gotta see Holy Grail again.
That's
a fantastic movie.
That is Kassadin right now.
Thank you so much, Prosper.
7-0-9.
Well,
about
Republic
to be 8.
chasing Imp. And yeah, cool guys don't look at explosions. Turns around, picks that one up very easily.
And Game Talent's composition had weaknesses built into it. Again, we talked about if they fell behind, this comp would get punished because of their lack of wave clear. And there's so much tower kill pressure on the side of LGD, but just not organizing their early game well enough.
Yeah.
And falling to basic skirmishes by not keeping track of TPs.
And Eimy in trouble once again here as Savoki very, very low. There's the Destiny punished. Just going to try and ward them off for now.
He pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah, throw some wild cards in. Savoki not going to die to that one, though.
That's very cute.
It was.
Using his Destiny to Fog of War, trying to find a pick.
But not going to find it there. As you can see, MaRin towards the bottom side, actually battling Republic here as he does get a whole host of those weak points. MaRin over to the side will be able to lock that one down as he flashes after him. Republic's going to fall as PentaQ now doing battle with MaRin, but MaRin wants this one. There's the riposte as PentaQ is able to take it down in the end. The ramp up of the damage with the Black Cleaver is powerful on both sides of the matchup.
And that is good news for LGD fans, is the fact that MaRin can still duel the Kassadin as well as just frankly ignore the Maokai if he gets the scenario to do so. But again, the fact of the matter is that LGD keep baiting into these poor situations or, in the case of the last team fight, just getting run over.
Yeah.
That MaRin doesn't have the time to use his Fiora in a side lane.
Republic as well, one away from perfect kill participation this game, but unfortunately did fall down, so that legendary streak done just after it began. Execution is calling now done for MaRin, so he is so committed to damage. Wants to be able to build up that mortal reminder. GimGoon steals away a blue buff. They haven't got too much as far as turrets are concerned with this Baron just yet. It is a very early one, of course, taken at about 22 minutes. Punished with a fair bit of wave clear is going to be able to help out LGD.
See if they're better than LGD in terms of closing on the leads that they've built.
Yeah. So far, 7,000 gold is what this one has extended to.
And now we're starting to play the 4-1 side push, although Game Talent's trying to mix this up. Maybe look for a pick here on Punish and MaRin.
You can see wushuang very, very deep. Actually just playing defense
as
they're taking turrets down.
It's just drawing attention and making sure that they can't get back to their base. Siege continues.
Yeah, exactly. This tower already half of its health lost as they just lost the Baron buff. Oh, no, they didn't. Not just yet.
It's got 30 more seconds on it now.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very short amount of time as MaRin waiting for this Kassadin to overextend Punish there as well. But are they going to cost themselves too much time as Republic is going to spot them out? Eimy very, very low as this tower is going to fall. GT just brute force their way into the base. Will be able to take an inhibitor on the top side of the map. Wildcards ignored here by this GT squad. The inhibitor is dead, guys. Don't worry about that one. And now just moving over, seeing whether they can do some more work here in the mid lane.
LGD don't have the members necessarily to respond. Here comes Destiny.
Yeah, GimGoon actually getting caught out as there's the flash twisted advance. Eimy in trouble as you can see the curtain call doing a lot of damage, but LGD falling down solo. Triple knock up from wushuang as he's taking up the turret as well. What a beast. 3 kills already for GT as they just turn their attention to this inhibitor. Imp once again, one of the only members surviving as MaRin is still there. That's 2 inhibitors already for GT. We said they had to stay ahead. Well, they certainly are now.
They've pretty much run LGD over, and now it's not a question of can they close it. They're sitting on a bunch of gold, so if LGD want to try to fight them after their death timers respawn, this would be the time to do it. It doesn't look like they're going to get the opportunity, though.
Well, you can see Republic wants to build up to his Rabbidan's Death Cap, his item number 4. Already has that Void Staff done as MaRin cheeky pokes his head in. Can't steal away that red buff, though.
And they can't even contest the Infernal Drake. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, triple Infernal. That is so scary.
So now 10k gold lead in favor of Game Talents. Triple Infernal Drake. That's going to be a 24%
What is it with
increase.
Game Talents and getting 3 Infernal Drakes, Frostgreen?
They had this in their first series against Saint as well.
Yeah.
Just vicious. And it goes back to this idea that no one expected this out of Game Talents. I mean, yes, we can't go super hype on them because so far their victories have been over Snake without SOFM, although they're starting to falter a bit. LGD, if they manage to close this one out, LGD are not the 2015 World or Summer playoff team that we thought that they would be. Their victory over Team WE recently, though, has been very
that
impressive.
was important. And there's also the fact that they took down Newbie as well. Although Newbie did start the season off pretty ineffectually. So you're right. I mean, haven't had too many big tests. And based on LGD's prior performances, I mean, this isn't necessarily to be considered a big one, but they were looking better and better.
They've been, I won't take that away. Like, I think they have had big tests, as LGD are actually threatening a little bit here. Maybe a counter engage.
Yeah, turret.
It's just,
sorry, pillar goes down.
All of these big tests have asterisks next to them. It's like, you know, Game Talents did this, but underneath these conditions.
Yeah.
And so I'm really just waiting kind of to step back and say, do we have enough of a sample size to say, yes, Game Talents are an X team in the LPL? Be that upper tier, mid tier, or bottom tier. Definitely not bottom tier.
Yeah, and at the moment, actually winning very considerably against LGD in game number 2. It'll be quite a clean 2-0 victory if they are able to come out with this one. If we ignore the first series, captive audience is down, but look at GT going for the dive as Punish already below half health. PL in trouble as MaRin off to the side trying to knock down GimGoon, but Eimy, just so much incidental damage coming out as Republic takes down Imp. The turret has also fallen. As look at this AoE, Punish is going to die. The Rip Walk stacking up so high. That is going to be the ace. It's a quadra kill as well out of Republic. And they just head straight forward, follow their super creeps, and take down the game. 2-0 for Game Talents.
Much more definitive in the second game than game 1. However, Game Talents showing that late game they can tango with the best of them and find the 5v5s.
And Game Talents coming off the momentum after that very difficult first game. 2 teamfight wins, were able to lock that one down for them in about 55 minutes. However, this game was a very different story. We had questions for them coming into the game. The draft was interesting, but they made that one work.
Yep, as you can see, Game Talents coming for the bow. Very well deserved.
Yeah.
LG were definitely on an upswing over their recent victory, but Game Talents put a quick stop to that. And they also kind of answer this question. Again,